Let me tell you something right off the bat. If you'd told me 6 months ago that I'd end up blowing the lid off a full-blown surveillance racket run by my own HOA, I'd have laughed you right out of Meadowbrook Commons. But that's exactly what happened, and the way it all started. Well, you ever have one of those nights where the air just feels off? Like every window's an eye and every shadow's got teeth. Yeah, that's how I felt when I pulled up to the cluster mailboxes and saw that golf cart sitting there, lights pulsing like some discount cop show radio, squawking my license plate rolling out letter by letter. If you're wondering what my first line was, let's just say it wasn't fit for prime time. But I kept it cool because sometimes the only way to stay sane is to act like you belong even when you know you don't. See, I'd been in Meadowbrook Commons 8 months, figured I had the routine down mail, a nod to Mrs. Henderson, maybe wave at whoever's out with their dog, nothing fancy. Only tonight the air had a tension to it. That golf cart wasn't just there, it was waiting. Not blocking, but angled just so amber strobes flickering slow and deliberate. Made me think of highway stops, should have been my first clue, honestly. But I was tired, just wanted Sarah's leftover lasagna, so I parked, hopped out, dug for my mailbox key, and then static. This emotionless female voice crackles out, Unit 7 community safety check confirmed. Then, my whole plate, one character at a time. I froze key halfway to the mailbox thinking, what the hell is this? That voice finished up copy and went dead. Then out steps Derek Williams. Seen him around clipboard guy by the pool, always in that golf cart, the type who peaked at Homecoming King and never got the memo. Tonight he's playing security guard metal badge radio on his belt, even walks like he's got backup somewhere in the bushes. Evening, he says, and you can just hear. He's practiced it in the mirror. I'm going to need you to step away from your vehicle for a community safety check. I mean, come on. I scan the empty parking lot, give him the calm voice I use back on highway patrol. Community safety check for what exactly? Let them hang themselves with their own rope, you know? Derek whips out a little notebook, reading straight from a script. HA enforcement protocols require periodic safety assessments, all stiff and mechanical, like he's reading off a return policy. I glance at the cart, the lights that radio still droning, and it hits me my plate got called in before anyone looked at my truck. I'll need your ID and your signature here, Derek says, ripping out a violation notice watermark, barely visible, some business logo, definitely not official. I set my phone on my dash camera facing him. I'll sign if you show me the law that lets an HOA stop residents and demand ID. He falters but recovers quick radios in Unit 7, requesting supervisor backup for non-compliant resident. That robotic voice comes right back confirming. And the creepiest thing, it's close. Not some faraway dispatch, but maybe the community center or one of those empty model homes. I cross my arms, keep my voice friendly but firm, like with a speeder who thinks charm's gonna save them. Look, I follow HOA rules, but this never seen it in any bylaws, and I'm not signing for something you made up 5 minutes ago. His radio crackles again. Escalate to formal citation if resident continues non-compliance, and now I spot a white sticker on his gear, like a police equipment tag. I realize uniforms, radios, violation pads, it's all theater. Slick, expensive theater, but theater. I'm not signing, I say, hand him the paper back. Show me the law or I'm getting my mail. He steps in front of the box. Sir, I need you to remain until the safety check's complete now with just enough edge to let me know he's loving this power trip. Interference may result in suspension of residential privileges. I almost laughed. Like he could evict me for refusing to play along. I show him my license, just the license. There's my ID. Danny Carter, 1742 Maple Creek. Unless you're arresting me, I'm going home. He stares, wheels spinning. His script didn't cover people who knew their rights. His radio barks Unit 7 status update requested. He doesn't answer. This isn't over, he finally grinds out, sounding like a bad soap actor. The HOA board will review this incident. I collect my junk mail, feel him snapping photos of my truck, and drive home checking the rear view like he's going to follow me all the way back. I tell Sarah, my wife still in hospital scrubs, what happened. She laughs till she hears the recording and her face goes white. That voice, she says, it's like an automated customer service line. And now it's clear someone rigged a whole system to sound legit. Next morning, official-looking envelope on my doorstep, no stamp, just slipped under the door. $75 fines for unauthorized vehicle display, non-compliance with safety protocols. Sarah reads over my shoulder. Unauthorized vehicle display. Your truck's parked the same way as always. She's right. Only thing that's changed is Derek's new act. Sarah points out cameras newly installed on the streetlights, black housings pointed at our driveway, 3 more on poles. When I moved the lens, followed me. I took photos. Played the recording again for Sarah, and she shivered. Later, just to test a theory, I drove to the grocery store. 10 minutes away, totally normal errand. But as I loaded my groceries, there's Derek sitting in his car talking into his radio, robotic voice blaring, enhanced monitoring confirmed for non-compliant resident. They were following me, building a file, and wanting me to know it. Sarah comes home shaken. Someone called her work, asking when she leaves what car she drives. Danny, this is harassment, she says, knuckles white on her mug. She's right. Next day, another envelope, fake security code, surveillance procedures, signed MP. Legalese gibberish, but official looking enough to fool anyone not reading carefully. Then it gets worse. Sarah's hospital radios start picking up interference. Every few minutes, that same artificial voice cuts through with community monitoring updates. That's not just annoying, that's a federal crime. I report it, keeping my own name out for now. That afternoon, Derek shows up with a final notice over $400 in fines. Now failure to acknowledge HOA authority. I warn him, dead calm. Whatever you think you're doing, you're about to cross lines you don't want to. Interfering with emergency comms is a federal offense. Harassment is a crime. Impersonating law enforcement will get you arrested. His face flickers, but he sticks to the script. After he leaves, Sarah just stares out the window at those cameras. Should we move? She asks, and it hits me. Why should we run? That night, Sarah and I hear cross chatter on her radio, multiple voices talking surveillance schedules, monitoring assignments, enhanced enforcement protocols. They're watching everyone, Sarah says, anger in her voice. Next HOA meeting, I show up early, scan the room. Margaret Pierce, the president, all power suit and tight smile, is stacking papers at the head table. Derek's in the back radio at his side. But the surprise, the room's packed, words gotten out. During open forum, I take the floor play, the audio of Derek's stop robotic voice and all. Faces blanch, people exchange glances. Turns out I'm not the only one. Mrs. Martinez from across the street says, "That's the same voice for pool announcements." Another resident chimes in. They'd been stopped, fined, surveilled, all for community safety. Patterns emerge. Families targeted for things that have nothing to do with HOA rules, but everything to do with not fitting a certain vision. Just as Margaret tries to steer the meeting back, Deputy Lewis from the county sheriff's office walks in, real authority, 15 years on the force. "We're investigating interference with emergency services," he announces. Derek goes pale. Margaret insists it's all legit, but Lewis demands the radio equipment. I lay it out for everyone. What's happening here isn't security, it's harassment. Murmurs rise, other families nod, some in tears. We propose a committee to review security practices. Margaret tries to regain control, but the room's with me. Afterward, Deputy Lewis thanks me. There's a pattern, other HOAs doing the same thing he says, and suddenly it all clicks. This isn't just our fight. A couple days later, I get a call from Laura Mitchell, a civil rights attorney who's seen this before. We meet and she lays out the evidence, dozens of communities, same equipment, same playbook, same financial tricks. Our own HOA spent $50,000 on this stuff, billed through fines for fake violations. The whole thing's funded by shakedowns. Even worse, insurance costs for the community have tripled because of the illegal gear. Vendor invoices show they bought police-grade surveillance license plate readers, facial recognition, server space for data. This isn't Neighborhood Watch, it's a police state in miniature. Harassment ramps up. Derek follows me to work corner Sarah in the hospital garage, tries to hand her a violation for communication protocols. He's tracking us around town. That's it, I call Laura. We file a formal complaint with the county financial fraud, unauthorized surveillance harassment. Within hours, all violation notices vanish from the bulletin board records, go missing. County inspector shows up, unannounced documents, everything, cameras, radios, the works, orders a cease and desist. Derek rips down the notice, gets caught on camera by Mrs. Johnson. Next day, they try their most aggressive move yet, a checkpoint at the neighborhood entrance. Traffic cones, uniforms, radios, everything but an actual police badge. Final safety assessment commencing, blares the radio. I drive up, phone recording, let them go through their whole act. Then the county inspector arrives, body cam rolling. Time to drop the mask. I flash my real badge, Highway Patrol, 20 years. Every stop, every fake citation, every minute of this illegal. Residents pile out of their cars filming. Inspector Rodriguez confiscates all the equipment, shuts down the operation, issues citations. Margaret tries one last time. We can resolve this, Officer Carter. It was all in good faith. I just lay out the facts. $50, $1,000 of resident money surveillance without licenses targeting families, based on who they are, not what they did. Fraud, discrimination, contempt of county authority. Rodriguez tags every piece of gear, collects the fake violation books, even hauls off the golf cart. Applause breaks out, relief washes over the crowd. I realize me going public with my law enforcement background changed more than just my own case. It gave everyone the courage to stand up. Federal charges follow. Margaret Pierce stands in court, admits it all. Unlicensed surveillance, misused funds, discriminatory practices. Turns out the consulting company they hired was running this scam across multiple states, training HOAs to harass and profile under the guise of community safety. The DOJ launches civil rights investigations. News crews descend. Within months, our neighborhood elects a new board. Cameras are gone. Policies are transparent, oversight's real. I join the Resident Rights Committee, help other families learn their rights. 6 months later, a new family black couple pulls up, asks if this is a good place to live. I hand them our rights pamphlet, smile. You'll be safe here now. And if anyone says otherwise, you'll have the whole neighborhood at your back. That's what real community looks like. If you're still with me, tell me, have you ever seen authority get out of hand like this? Share your story in the comments. And let's keep each other sharp. Because at the end of the day, real authority protects. Fake authority crumbles when you shine a light. And if you ever find yourself up against a clipboard tyrant, don't go quiet. Sometimes the only way to bring the house down is to stand up and speak.